Well, hello everybody. I thought I would do a quick home tour with you guys. Not an inside of the home tour because my house needs a lot of work inside, but a tour of my outside yard and gardens and some of the creations that I've made, just so you guys can see what my life is like outside of the FenTube universe. Ventuberverse. So let's start, okay? So we are on my back patio right now, okay? I only have an acre of land, so I don't have that much land. And my neighbor over there is really close. It used to be owned by a couple who are a little bit older and took meticulous care of their yard. And now it's a guy in his mid-20s who doesn't care about his yard. So excuse the neighbor's yard if you see that in pictures. I do apologize. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to show you guys is actually some citronella lanterns that I created from old Patron bottles. I am a Patron tequila girl, like that's my thing. So I wanted to show you, we'll start off with those, okay? So not gardeny, but definitely very cool. They are literally just Patron bottles. And this is like a big Patron bottle. This is a little. Now these I actually made last year, so they have been sitting outside. They sat outside all winter, so you can see like this one definitely got some water in it. But basically you can buy these kits on Amazon. It's literally just a wick, and then it has adapters and stuff, like this little thing to hold it in. Ooh, nasty. I had to use washers to adapt them for the Patron bottles, but the kits even come with this cute little top too. So if you just like Google like tiki torch for wine bottles, you'll be able to find the kits. So awesome. And now my hands are absolutely disgusting. All right, so the area behind me is right off of the main patio and off of our sunroom. And it has always been an eyesore, amazingly an eyesore. So this year we decided to completely do something different with it. So the first thing we did is we actually had all these railroad ties. They were actually over here as a border in these flower beds. But they gotten hit by cars and they were just a disaster. So I decided to start trying to figure out what to do with them. And that's when I thought I could put them over here, okay? And kind of build up this area. So what I did is I actually dug a crevice. There's actually two of them down here. I stacked on top of each other and nailed in rods. And then I built up this area with a bunch of dirt and then put stone on top of it. So, because before, literally, like rain would come over in the neighbor's yard and it would just flood and just pour. So now I kind of built that area up and kind of, protected it, which allows me to have these great beds. We have a lot of hostas down here. In this one, we actually have a lot of herbs. So we have two different kind of mint, some sage, some oregano, and some parsley, and some thyme that isn't doing too well down there. And then it also allowed us to come down here and create this area, which is actually where we put the grill. So this is kind of like our grilling area. I made this really awesome bar top, which, is great for when you're cooking. It's nice to have some place to put things. But literally, it's like so cute and was so easy to make. Like seriously. The red on the front, that metal there, was actually left over from the garage that we have. It was just up in storage. I did power wash it, but that's like as good as it looks. And then these were old pieces like of wood from a skid that I had, like a pallet. So, and literally just used cinder blocks and wood. And then the top too, it's all connected. It's all connected, but in ways you would never expect. So it's like, it's perfect. Like it's perfect for growing. And again, put another one of those railroad ties here to kind of keep that dirt over there from falling, and then put a bunch of stone and stuff down here as well to make it a usable space. Being under the tree, and since the rain would always wash everything down underneath the tree, and yes, I said wash and not wash, grass would never really grow here and it would just be a muddy mess. So totally usable space. Also new this year is the light poles, okay? So literally just used a bucket from Harbor Freight, and I love Harbor Freight. No, they're not a sponsor. But poured like a one of the bags of quick cement or quick, whatever it's called, quick set cement. And literally I had these poles in the garage. They're just really skinny little poles. Put some hooks on the end up here and then could actually hang lights. So it looks really cute at night, super cute. And then over here have some dill, which is doing amazing. I gotta cut this back. Some cilantro plants, lemongrass, basil, and that's a weed, so we'll pull that out. And then we have some pepper plants and some rosemary down there too. So, moving along. The next place I have to show you was my daughter's house. What used to be my brother's house. Okay, when we bought it, the property in 2002, it was a workshop. And then my brother turned it into a bachelor pad. And then it became the honeymoon suite. And then I did some bad things with it for a couple years. And then my daughter moved in when she was 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. I think I did wait until she was 18. Maybe not really sure. But anyway, and now it's just falling apart. So we gotta figure out what to do with it. So if you look like over on this end, like I actually power washed the end to get a lot of the paint off because I have paint to repaint it. But I'm kind of thinking, do I want to like actually, because you can see there's two parts. There is the main part, and then this was an addition where this is where the bathroom's at. But because there's been no heat in there for years, all the plumbings went bad. So there's no reason to really have a bathroom out here because I don't feel like investing the money to fix the plumbing in here. It's not worth it. And there's no reason for it. We're not coming out here to go to the bathroom. We just don't. I mean, we got 2 bathrooms in the house, so why keep this one going? And then we would have to winterize it every winter. And PVC and freezing cold temperatures doesn't always work. And yeah, we could use flex pipes and things, but I'm thinking about just tearing down this end position part right here and then maybe turning it into like a greenhouse that's attached to the main section somehow. Like, I don't know what that would look like or how I would actually get it done, but it's something I'm contemplating. So things over here, I just actually added this. This potted plant was a lot heavier than anticipated, so I just created this bracket actually last night to hang it from. Super cute. Definitely need to get some of the dead flowers off. And we also have a very small blackberry bush over here. Or actually it's a loganberry bush. But for some reason it just became really small this year. Last year I think it took some damage. You can see the loganberries growing. Aren't they cute? They're so bitty and baby. But they'll get bigger and they'll be so yummy and delicious when it comes time to eat them. So across from, we call it Sammy's house. Oh, forgot to introduce you to my giraffe. Yes, this is actually an old exhaust system from a U-Haul truck. That was God knows how old. But my dad took apart a U-Haul truck, and this was sitting in some tires, like the 4 tires from the U-Haul truck, for the longest time. And every time I walked by it, I thought it looked like a giraffe. Now I know it's a stretch, but for some reason my imagination kept being like, well, hi, Mr. Giraffe. So I painted him and I gave him a base, and now he is a piece of art in my garden. Yes, he's my giraffe. And everybody tells me I need to put brown spots on him, and I'm like, no, I will not put brown spots on my giraffe. It's my giraffe, it's my art, it's my creation. I will not do that. So just an FYI, don't tell me to give him brown spots, okay? So now I'd like to welcome you to my garden, okay? It's on the edge of the garage, and I know it looks really dark right now, but this area actually gets full sun until about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then the shade starts going from here on down. So lots of things. I actually just, this potting tower was over by the grill section, and I just moved it here yesterday. It definitely wasn't getting enough sun. Right now I only have different lettuces and spinach in it, and I know it's June. Shouldn't be trying to grow lettuces and spinach, So it's probably why it's not doing well, but I thought I would give it a blast of sun and just see if there's anything else that can be done with it before I give up and put flowers in there instead. So the first thing behind that is peppers. I have peppers galore. I started all these peppers from seeds except for 4 jalapeno plants, which are, I have the corners over here and then the 2 down front here. Those are both jalapenos. Those I did buy because I completely forgot to get seeds for jalapenos. And you can't make pico de gallo without jalapeno peppers. And I love me some pico de gallo. So I have banana peppers and different kind of bell peppers. I have, what is it? California Wonders. And then, what are the other ones? I have, yeah, banana peppers. Maybe that's it. So should have lots of peppers this year, hopefully. And most of them are looking pretty good. Some of them had some severe root rot. A lot of my seedlings, and this is a thing, as you garden, you learn something. And I haven't done a garden in a few years. My daughter, Zishan, has attempted to do them the past couple years and failed miserably each time. She gets so busy during the summer, like she thinks, you know, she'll have time to work on it, and then she works too much, and then she just doesn't have time to keep up on it. So I get it. So this year I was like, no, mommy's doing it, and I wanted to start as many things from seeds as I possibly could. But I hadn't done seedlings in ever. I don't think I've ever legitimately started an entire garden from seeds. So I had a lot of root rot. Like, I was so afraid I was gonna kill them. I kept them too wet after they sprouted, after the seeds germinated. And so some of them did end up with root rot. So big lesson for next year, to not be too wet. And then once I started realizing they were staying too moist, I actually bought trays. So now that when I do it, the containers will actually, they'll sit in a tray, which that tray will sit in a tray. So anyway, believe me, I got a better system now. Next year will be so much more amazing. And I might actually even show you what I'm talking about at some point in this video. But anyway, so I do have, down here, I have zucchini squash. I think these are the butternut squash actually, or butter stick squash. So those are just squash. Pretty sure, this is one of those things too, why you should always label, because I know I have 2 sides. I have this side, and I have this side here, and I'm pretty sure I put the yellow butter stick ones over there, and I'm pretty sure these are the zucchini ones. But honestly, I won't be able to tell until the fruit starts growing on them. Down here too, I did do a thing of radishes lately, and I know these again should not have been planted so late in the season. Like, they usually are only good through May, but I thought I would try to get at least 1 or 2 more bunches of radishes in, and they are looking so good. They have about another week or 2 before I can pull them, so we'll see how they do. In this raised bed here, I have beets, and I have 2 different, well actually I think I just have 1 kind. I think they're all Detroit Reds, but I think there's 2 different brands. So they came from 2 different places. So the first 2 rows are one, the second 2 rows are another. So we will see which ones do best. Excuse me while I pick some weeds out of there. And then these are another bunch of lettuces and spinaches that I have tried to do late in the season, even though I know I shouldn't. But I was just really hoping for some stuff that I could throw into the salad. And honestly, here in Maryland, it was cold for a while. Like, it stayed cold super long. Right now it's June 7th, so the past couple days have been really hot. Which reminds me why I should listen to the seed packets and not try to start things late. But I mean, it came up, and so far they're looking really good. So I mean, honestly, I'm not losing all hope. They're looking a whole lot better than the ones in my tower. So hopefully they have just enough sun, not too much. Over here I have beans. What are these? They're both pole beans, which I am so excited. If you look here, like, look at this. Look at this growing. Isn't this amazing? Like, that excites me. Like, that really excites me. I've never grown pole beans before, so the fact that I grew something from a seed and it's actually growing out of the ground, and like I grew this awesome bamboo weird thing, and the plant's actually like attaching and growing on the string, like, oh my god. I know, amateur alert, whatever. But it's really funny because if you look, like, all the plants towards the front are doing really well, and then the plants in the back are kind of stunted. So that's kind of weird. Not sure what that's about, but we'll see how it goes by the end of the season. I probably left a couple of the plants, like some of them are too close, and I know that, and so I don't know how that'll end up turning out. But the healthiest ones all grew towards the side, so I was like, we'll leave them and see what happens. This is my first year. Yes, I want a successful crop, but I also want to experiment and see what I can and can't get away with. So next, down here we have tomatoes. Yes, first two in the bamboo structures here are actually all cherry tomatoes. In here I actually have three super, what are they, super 100s variety, and then over here is just red cherry. Okay, and yesterday I went in and I weeded because they really needed weeded, but I also tried to clean off the bottoms of them. I started actually like cleaning off the bottom of the stalks, because on YouTube I've seen that there's a couple things you need to do with tomato plants. Number one is suckers. So when things start popping out, like in places like this, to cut them off, because those are not going to produce fruit and they only are going to suck up nutrients. So get rid of those. Check. Next is to clean the bottoms of all leaves. Like, I don't know how low I should go, but I think I did enough. I think I'm happy, and we're gonna see how it goes. Because apparently tomato plants are susceptible to a lot of bugs and molds, diseases, things, and just crap. So you want to try to keep the leaves as much off the ground as possible so they don't get wet and then diseased. And then also it allows more aeration, whatever, you know what I mean. So again, so I have three sweet 100s, one red cherry. Oh, and I have a cute little eggplant right down there. Okay, isn't he cute? Oh, and in that container I have Swiss chard. So I have some really colorful chard. That should actually get a whole lot bigger, and I should probably thin it out a little bit more, but we'll see. Here I have three beefsteak in these metal containers. And then down here I have, hold on, celebrity hybrids. Yes, I have 4 celebrity hybrids in this cute little cage. Next year I'm definitely going to space out my tomato plants. I'm already seeing problems with how close I planted them. So next year I definitely need more space. I thought, you know, when a plant is really little, like, you're like, oh, a foot apart is enough. And then they start getting bigger and you're like, yeah, a foot is not enough. So down here, I don't know if you can see this or not. It's hard for me to see it right here. I have 2 more little eggplants, and those were like super late germinators. So we'll see how they do. I thought I would plant them just to see, but I don't have any expectations. And I've never grown eggplant before, so I honestly have no idea how they grow, what they look like, if they're doing well. Like, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see together, okay? And then almost last, down here, I have 3 cucumber plants that are gonna grow up as trellis. And I am so excited. Like, you saw how excited I was about the beans. Well, same thing here with the cucumbers. Like, let's see here. So they're starting to shoot off here, and there's a couple ones that are attached. All right, so it's super awesome. They're gonna grow up this trellis, and it's going to look amazing. It's also another reason why I really haven't planted anything underneath the cucumber trellis. Depending on how it does this year, depends on if I will utilize all the space again next year. or if I'll do something different. I definitely feel like I could have spaced out the tomato plants better, utilize that, but we'll see how much shade this ends up casting by mid-July. And then last thing on this side of the garage are my strawberry plants. All right, so very confusing. We have 4 tires, or we have 1 big planter and 3 tires here. So the ones in the big planter and the first 2 tires were actually established plants that were planted way down there at the end of, well, the beginning of this season. I actually just transplanted them to the tires, and they are doing so amazing. Like, look at the strawberry plant. Look at it. It is just gorgeous. And look at all the fruit that it's kicking off. And I know you're probably are like, why do you have paper towels down there? Well, honestly, it's because I had no idea what else to do. There is an ant hill in the planter over here, and every time I would come out to get a strawberry, I would see ants inside the strawberries. So I figured the ants were eating them. Now online, it says that an ant's not just going to attack a strawberry unless it's been damaged. So I didn't know what was damaging them. So I put paper towels down and I sprinkled salt on them, thinking, well, if it's a slug, slugs don't like salt. And then I still had a couple more damaged strawberries. But what I think was really happening, I think they were just getting bruised or whatever, or otherwise it was birds. But regardless, now I haven't had any issues. So either the paper towels are scaring the birds away, or they're, I don't know, whatever it is, it's working. Now, like after a couple days, like once the first batch of strawberries went away, now all the strawberries that are ripening pretty well, and I haven't had any issues. And we had a ton of strawberries come off, and you can see like there's still a ton more to be coming off of this. I mean, just amazing quantities. And if you look over here, like these are new, these were brand new, and we're actually getting flowers off of these. A lot of times you do not get fruit the first year you have a strawberry plant, so I am beyond excited. But to tell you what I did with those, like when I transplanted them, like I used dirt from back here on the island, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But then I also threw in a ton of compost, and my compost wasn't really that composted yet. So there was like literally like half rotten chunks of vegetables and fruits, and I think it really made the soil amazingly moist, and the strawberry plants are just too happy. So over here, okay, all this is my grapevine that I destroyed in February, like mid-February. I came out here and I cut it back hardcore. Like if you look behind me, like underneath that door, like that's all the grapevine that I cut off, that I will make projects with in the future, I promise. I saved it for a reason, just haven't had time to get there. But anyway, so this grapevine, like some of these plants are probably as old as I am. The first, well, that's a tree down there. It's kind of holding up that last post because the post is really old. So I'm afraid to cut down the tree, so I just keep cutting the branches back and hoping that the tree just grows strong, tall, and whatever. But anyway, so this grape plant here, I actually planted. So that's the first one, and I planted that probably at least 15 years ago, at least, okay? So then down here, right, that one there, that one was here when we moved in, and we bought this house in 2002. So that one's like super old. And then on the other side of it, there's this one and another one, boom. Both of those were here when we moved in. So those are all like a dark red grape, purpley grape. They all have seeds. Where the one that I planted, this one right here, that one is a lighter, like pinkier, lighter purple color, and that one doesn't have seeds. So that's the one I really want to keep. But I think these down here are all Concords. And then, excuse me, I've really got to mow underneath of this, but we ran out of gas, so don't judge. But then down here too, I also planted some extra pole beans that I had. They were some late germinators, so I planted them over here just to see, because I already have the support of the grapevine. This one, he got a little funky, like a little kink in him. So we'll see what they do over here. But like, I have a really hard time just destroying plants. Like, I can't just kill them. If they made it this far, like, they deserve to have a shot. So, but also down here, I have a blueberry bush. It's small, first year. So I definitely want to pick up more. So I'm off all this week for vacation. Not going anywhere, but taking time off. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to put an archway over top of this first off. And then I need to go to the store and buy at least one more blueberry plant just for pollination. Now this one's doing really good so far. We got a lot of blueberries on it. Hopefully you can see that okay. But I need to get another one just because next year when it comes to pollinating time, you need at least 2 or more blueberry bushes in close proximity to each other to really get adequate berries, and a lot of berries and big berries. So definitely got to work on that. So over here, you'll see a square in the ground. This is where my daughter tried to put a garden before. Didn't work too well. So now we just have this square, and it's hilarious. You can see this square from satellite. If you Google Earth My House, you can see the outline of the square. It's so funny. But we have a burn barrel for burning all of our junk, which I use the ash from this actually and put it back in my gardens. Great for that. And then this is what we call the island. For many years, especially like, you gotta think when Sammy died, like I wasn't doing too much outside. So a tree falls down, guess what? All the pieces of the trees, sticks go here. And nobody was really burning anything. So this year we've made a huge effort to cut back. I mean, this is literally half of what it was at the beginning of the season. So my mom has been helping out with burning stuff, and she's done an amazing job. Now we have a lot of pieces that are still big. Got to cut down first. And now we're at a point where I'm afraid to get in because I am highly allergic to poison ivy, poison oak, and something called a Virginia creeper, which is a lot like poison, but apparently it's not, but still is the same. Don't ask me to define that. But there's a lot of that in here, so not sure what we'll do there. I'm going to take you over here just to show you. Actually, no, wait, I'm not going to show you that. There is a tree, right? Not that one. That's, oh, you can start to see it right there. That is a redwood. And it's a tree that I planted when it was like this big. Like literally it was, I ordered it and it came and it was just like a stick with some roots. And I was like, this can't be what I ordered. And sure enough, bottom of the roots, top of the tree was 20 inches. But when you planted it, half of it was underground. So like literally I had to really protect it so my mom didn't mow over it. And yes, for you people who don't know, my mother and I, back in 2002, I was like 22 and she wasn't 22. But we bought a house together. We were both like super poor. And we figured I would only grow up and make more money and she would only get older and make less. So she has a tiny little in-law suite and she contributes some of the mortgage. And then I take care of all the other bills, take care of the other portion of the mortgage and the rest of the bills. But she does a lot. Like she mows the yard. She is huge on weeding. Like she likes to go outside to smoke. So every time she smokes, she has to pick weeds and do things. It's really kind of cool. So she's constantly working and her hard work is definitely shown. So come on, let's go look at more stuff. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is just all the stuff that I still have to plant. It's not a lot. Trust me, it's compared to what it was, it's not a lot. I still have one tomato plant. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this guy. And then these are actually all pepper plants. And like I said earlier, I had so many pepper plants that survived, way too many. And I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but my daughter did a science research project with them. And like I said, I can't kill plants. So maybe I can find good homes if I just brought them outside. So we'll see which ones do best and maybe I'll try to give them to some other people. And then over here I have, what do I have? I have marigolds and I have some sunflowers. So definitely gotta find some cool places for them. Some of them are doing really well, and I got to get them in the ground soon. So the marigolds, there's a couple other things growing in there. Like, that's not a marigold. So I guess time will tell what it actually is. So, but if I'm gonna walk you over here, and if you look, this whole area used to be a playground, okay? So my youngest just turned 18. And yes, I'm a stepmom, and my stepdaughter is 8, gonna be 9 this month actually, holy moly. But she doesn't go outside unless you make her. Like, she is addicted to her tablet. So I really wanted to take over this area and do something awesome with it. So this section here actually used to have a sliding board attached, and I kind of transitioned it into this kind of like a wall to take you into more of like a boho chic, you know, chill, relaxed spot. So the swing set is where I have a bench, like a bench swing. Over here we have a hammock swing, and I ordered, no joke, at the beginning of March, I ordered 2 more hammock swings off of eBay. They still aren't here. They were due here by May 20th. What takes almost 2 months to get here? Like, actually it was like 2.5 months. It didn't show up. So they have shipped me another ones, and they better get it to me by the 15th, or otherwise I'm getting a refund. So I'm gonna hang another hammock swing here. And then there's actually an eyelet up in that tree, which I'm gonna have to drill through. It actually used to have like was it a tire horse for the kids when they were little? I'm gonna have to drill through it, make it usable again, and I'll hang a hammock swing there. But this, I mentioned this in the other video that I did today. This was a bird feeder that my dad made 30 years ago. All right, and it was in horrible condition, falling apart. So I sanded it, refinished it, put a new roof on it. Isn't that cool? The red is actually more of the siding, same from the grill station over there. So, and now it's full of bird food. So, very cool. Super excited. Also this year I made these. They're little wine bottle planters, covered in chicken wire. So just kind of simple, easy, breezy kind of stuff. Other stuff that I did over here is, remember the Patron bottles? Well, I did use those tiki torches for wine bottles too. I recommend you take off the labels if you're not lazy like me. So I have those hanging up there. I installed this window, so it actually opens from the inside. It swings in. So I did that this year and put this cute little ledge here. I added whimsical sheer curtains to the front of this old playhouse. And yes, this used to be my kids' playhouse, and I have reclaimed it. So now it holds a lot of gardening items like the rose food and weed killer, algae control for the pond. And then when COVID's over and we can have parties, I'll hire a cute little boy to put in there to serve us alcohol. Not cute little boy, cute young man, to serve us alcohol through the window and have all my girls over. Okay, so next space is our fire pit area. Now, interesting enough, this area we actually dug out for a swimming pool years ago, years and years and years ago. Just one of those round, easy ones, cost you like $300 at Walmart kind, okay? And it was amazing. But at the end of the season, I had one of those floating little ducks that had all the chlorine in it. I dumped out all the chlorine in the pool, melted a hole in the liner. Stupid, stupid Shannon. So then I didn't want to buy a new pool. So we turned it into a fire pit and patio area instead. So, and every year something else gets done to this. So all the cushions and pillows, well, the cushions bought last year, the pillows I got this year. Got some cute little lanterns, you can see right there. They're actually solar powered and light up at night. So that's all new. And then over here, the wood holder. This was a messy pile of mush. I mean, like, it was the grossest pile of wood you'd ever seen. So I actually built a rack to stack wood on. And then these are old plastic tubs we had in the garage. So I upcycled them to hold sticks in one and then the big long pieces of wood in the other. And then we have the magical fish pond area. So this was actually here when we bought the place, which is amazing. This year I've been playing with aquaponics. Now, not testing water. We have goldfish in here and the pond is, well, you can see, full of life. Okay, so I've been trying to see if I can just grow stuff without having to have the whole fancy system. So up here on top, I actually created an island, like a floating island. And these all have like the aquaponic clay beads and everything. And if you look underneath, and I hope this works as I'm not gonna be able to see, we do have roots that are going into the water, which is pretty awesome. Okay. To me, that makes it successful, at least for the first year of not really doing much with it. And then down here, I have different squash and zucchinis, and then a basil that won't die, but also one that won't grow either. It's like the little tomato plant up here. Like if you look here, this little tomato plant, he won't grow, but he won't die either. So weird. So, so the fish pond area is full of life, tons of frogs, tons of goldfish, lots of plants. Love the space. It's very relaxing, especially to sit over by like the fire pit area. And then this is my rose garden right here. So down here I have a David Austin rose, and I think this is the port. What is this one? Oh, this one is Tranquility. It hasn't had any blooms on it yet, and I just planted it this year, so it may not. This isn't actually an ever-blooming kind of rose here, and beautiful, it's gorgeous. This one is actually a Christian Dior, which it used to have bright red petals, and now every once in a while, like you can see, some of them are pink. So I think it's cross-pollinating with that and just being weird. Down here we have, what is it, a Corydana, which is really strange because it's been here for like 5 years and it's not blooming this year. I did just transplant it from the other side from over here, so I don't know if that just messed with it. And then in the back we have another David Austin Porch Sunshine. So some gorgeous plants there. Can't wait for the David Austins to finally bloom, even if it is next year. And then of course, the bench, the lovely bench that I made. So that's really about it that I want to show you. We have a front porch, but that's not cool enough to show anybody right now. But that's a kind of my gardens and what I've been working on, and lots of projects left to do. Like I said, still trying to figure out if I want to take down half of Sammy's house, the bathroom part. I still have another bird feeder that I need to restore. That's another thing. Aquaponics, I need to put, basically it's like a filter system where like the water goes into it, takes out all the sludge and grossness, and then spits out clean water, like where the grossness sinks to the bottom. Because in that rain gutter section, getting a lot of sludge buildup, and it's created a lot of problems. If any more problems happen, I'll keep you guys updated. So definitely need to figure out something there. So still a lot to do, but I'm really happy. Like I can actually sit down and relax and chill. So I guess if you care, or you want to keep up and see what I do next, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, as always. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, be good. Bye-bye.